before you start the session?
Yeah, I started. So today is day 26. We are going to see association rule here. Day 26 association rule algorithms like a priori and eclat. These two algorithms we will see today. So previously we have seen some clustering algorithms here. K means DB scan means shift, and we have seen machine learning algorithms in from day 15 to day 29 we'll see machine learning, and then from day 30 we will see we'll continue with deep learning, and then 41 and 42 are natural language processing, and then 43 to uh, remaining are reinforcement learning algorithms. So previously we have taken all the videos will be uploaded in our YouTube channel, bigdatahandson.com. So you can subscribe to our channel, you will get all the notifications, and our website bigdatahandson.com. You can visit our website. If you have any doubts, you can message in this number 9789888 or you can send email through support at bigdatahandson.com. Okay, so let me jump into today's topic. So today we are going to see some association rule algorithms. What it does mean. So association rule algorithms is used when you are going to recommend something. Let's say a marketplace or a e-commerce website like Amazon, and you have a Netflix to or YouTube. These areas where we use association rules. Why? Because so you want to recommend something like, okay, so previously we saw some videos in, let's say, in YouTube. So it will recommend you a video, so based on your watch list or subscribed videos. So like that we'll give an association rule, and then it will filter out the based on the rules, it will filter out, and then it will show you some recommended videos. So that's how we use the association rule algorithms. So likewise we have the first algorithm is a priori. So we have so the a priori algorithm is used for mining frequent item sets and devising association rules from a transactional database. Okay, so transactional database can be our watch list, or in Amazon it can be our details of products we have bought. So like that the transactional database we will have. And then what happens is the parameters, and the parameters we need to give, the parameters are support and confidence. So what is the support and confidence? So support is nothing but support of the item. So let's say you are watching a movie Interstellar. So the support of the Interstellar movie, that means how many times you watched, and how many times the movie is watched. That's what the support is. So number of transaction in which A appears and total number of transaction. That's what the support of the item is. And then we'll calculate the confidence. Confidence is nothing but if I am watching Interstellar movie, what's the probability of watching Galaxy? Sorry, the Gravity movie. Okay, so that's what the confidence is. So confidence of A to B is support of A union B divided by support of A. That's what the confidence is. Okay. So based on the support and confidence, we'll follow these steps in a priori. So first step is set a minimum support and confidence. We'll give a minimum support and confidence value on when creating the model. And then the second step will follow, like take all the subsets in transactions having higher support than the minimum support we have given. Okay, so first we'll calculate the support actually, and then calculate after calculating the support for each item sets. Then we'll filter uh, the items which having more than the minimum support we have given. Okay, And then the third step will be take all the rules of these subsets having higher confidence than the minimum confidence. So we'll calculate the confidences of every item sets, and then we'll filter the uh, item sets which has more minimum confidence, okay, more than the minimum confidence. And then the fourth step will be sort the rules by decreasing lift. So what is lift actually? So lift is nothing but simply uh, support by confidence the lift actually. So we'll sort the rules by the decreasing lift. Okay, so that's what the steps in a priori. So let me jump into the practical one. So first I need to open my spider. Let me open spider id. And the data sets which I'm going to use today is, you can find it in Kaggle website. So go to the Kaggle website. Yeah, in the data tab, I go to the data tab and search. Here today we are going to use two data sets. One is market basket optimization and other one is grocery data set. So just type market basket. Searching. Yeah, one is the grocery data set also, and market basket also. So you can download it from here. Okay, so I have already downloaded it. I have that. So let me create a new file. So it's actually is the transactional data in the marketplace. So we recommend a product which already we have the customer bought a product. For example, if the customer bought citrus fruit, then we recommend other fruits also. So based on the association rule. Okay. Okay. Let me save this. St- So first I will import pandas and numpy libraries. Okay. So now I will open the file, the dataset. Uh, yeah, here. Uh, yeah, market basket optimization. So this was the data set is. This something like transactional data sets. Like every row is the products brought by some customer. Okay. For example, some customers have bought shrimp, almonds, avocado, vegetables mix like this. Some customers brought burgers, meatballs, eggs like that. So this is in every transaction actually. Every rows is every transaction. Okay. So likewise we have I think more than 7500 we have. Okay, so first I will read the data set and create a data frame using the pd.read csv file. Okay, so we'll give the name of the file, or the path of the file. Let me copy it. Okay, so now you want to put a parameter header equal to none. So why I'm doing this, because in pd.read csv file, the pandas read csv file, what it will do, it will take the first column, the first column as the index names, the column names. So we don't want to do that. Every rows is a data, so we don't have any column names. So just that's why you want to give header equal to none. Okay, okay, now you can run this line. Okay, so now go to the variable explorer, you will find the data frame. So this is what the data is. Okay, so we don't have any column names, that's why I have given header equal to none. Okay, so to do this, this is not a format of doing the association rule algorithm. So you want to give the data as a different type of different uh, format. So the format is, you want to give the data sets as transactional wise. So that means you want to give this is the first transaction, and this is the second transaction, this is the third transaction. Likewise, you want to give the transactional list. Okay, so you want to create a transaction list. So I will create a list here called transaction. Okay, transactions. Now we'll append the transactions here. Okay, so first I want to read it from the data frame, right? So I will run a loop for the number of rows, you can say, for I in a range of something we have, I think 7501, I think. Let me confirm it. 7500. Okay, you want to give 7501 actually, because upper bound is excluded. Okay, 7501. Okay, this is the row here. Now for column, you can simply add the transactions using the list comprehension. Is very easy, I will show you that. So in list comprehension, what we'll do is, we'll take a list here and we put a for loop inside the list. That's the list comprehension actually. So you can say for j in range, you can say, like, for j in range we have, I think, how many columns we have? We have 20 columns. Okay, so you want to take 20 because again the upper bound is excluded in range, so you want to give 20. Okay, so and then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to separate the transactions. So that means I'm going to get the shrimp and convert it to an string type of data. Okay, so I'm going to convert it to string str. We can use the function called str. Okay, and then I'm going to get the data from the data frame. So how you can get data dot values you want to put. So what the values parameter has, it has the array of the data frame. Okay, so in the array you want to give the row and column. So the row is I, the column is j, that's it. And then after running this loop, you will get the transaction wise data. So let me run these 3 lines. Now you will get the transactions data. So this is what the data is. Okay, Okay. So now we have pre-processed our data sets. Now we have the data. Now it's time to create the model. So for creating the a priori model, we have a library called a priori. So from the a priori, you need to import the a priori function. Okay. Actually, this will not work. This line gives you error. Why is because and the a priori model is a third party model. Okay, so you don't have installed in the Anaconda environment, so you want to install manually. So to install manually you can open the terminal. So I'm just opening the terminal. It will take some time for me. Yeah, now the terminal is opened. So what you can do is you can type conda activate to activate the conda environment. Okay, after activating it you want to type pip install the a priori. That's it, a priori. It will install the library for you, and then you can start typing the coding. So you can see successfully installed. So now if I run this line, it won't give me the error. Wait, I think I have to reset the console to reconnect the environment. It will take some time. Cannot import name a priori. Why? Okay. So the name I have given for the file. So this mistake due to the circular import. So what you can do is you can change the name. I will make the capital A. So now I will run this. Okay, and then what error is missing parenthesis in call to print? Did you mean? Uh, I think the problem is version. In version 2 we don't give the parenthesis. In version 3 we'll give. Version um, from 3.8 pip 3. Yeah, we have pip 3 actually. Yeah, the same error is coming. The same error. Okay, we'll try with the Google Collaboratory. I think something is in problem here. Version problem, maybe. Here, to install the some library, you want to put exclamatory mark. Okay, we'll try with this. The same error is coming here. Maybe a priori, I think. Okay, we'll try this a priori. Uh, First, let me uninstall this. We'll try with a priori. Yeah, maybe it will work, I think. Yeah, it's working. So we'll use the a priori instead of a priori. So to install this, you can say a priori. So if you want any, if you have any doubts in the libraries, or if you want to download some libraries, you can go to the website PyPy. It's the Python uh, index, package index. So this will give you some usages also. You can see how to install this and the usages. Okay, so now it will work actually. So you can say a priori install import a priori. Okay, let me run this program. Yeah, now we can see, so we don't have any errors here. So we can continue our work. So now after this, what you want to do is you want to create an object, right? Let's say obj equal to. So it will return some data sets. That's why, or you can say, uh, oh, we'll say the results, or you can say results. And now we'll call the function a priori inside the a priori library. Okay, so in the a priori, take some parameters. I will show you what are the parameter is. Uh, Press control index. Okay, it's not coming. Okay, so the first is you want to give the transactions, and you want to give the minimum support, min underscore support, I think. Minimum support, let's say I will give 0.003, because you can give some values like 0.04 also. So it comes in trial and error actually. So for this data sets I have trained a lot, and then find. So if you set some huge value, then what happens is it will not give you some expected results. Like it won't give it can have none results, or it can have one or two like that. So you can try with the smaller values of minimum support, and will give min confidence. uh, Confidence equal to will give let's say 0.4. I think I have done this before, so I will just take the parameters from that. So I will go to this, not this one. Yeah, here. So I have the function a priori here. Will copy this and paste it here. So we have transactions, minimum support, minimum confidence, and we have given minimum lift also. And these two are very important parameters, minimum length and maximum length, because this affect the results actually. Let's say if you want to give recommended videos, so you can have more than two, right? So you can give more than two videos as recommendations. So if you set the minimum length and maximum length as two, what happens is it will the results only have two results. One is LSH and RSH. So people bought the LSH, maybe great have the great chance to bought RHS. So that's what I have given here. That's why. So two products only. Okay, so you can give three products, like when a person watches a movie, and you can recommend two or three movies other related to the movie. Okay. Okay, now let me run this. Okay, now if you see the results variable, it's a generator object, you can see. So now you can print here results. Okay, so generator object. So what we can do is, I think we can print that. Maybe it has some uh, variables inside the results. So let me run a loop, or what we do actually. Yeah, we created a list. Rules equal to list of results. We converted the generator object to rules list actually. Now inside the list you will find some data set here. So you can see if I change the minimum support and minimum confidence to some, let's say I will change the minimum support as 0.03, then you will see, you can see what happens. So we don't have any, so okay, so I will just print it first. So you can see we don't have any rules, right? So the data sets which we are having is it's lesser than the minimum support which we have given. So that's why we don't have any rules here. So you can give a smaller value. So by trial and error method you can find the minimum support. So if I change this 0.003 very less value, then it is giving me some rules, right? So this is what is given. So what it contains is it's a relational record. So items are two items we have, right? So this is what we have given, minimum length and maximum length as two. That's why it has only two values, so chicken and light grain. So that means people who bought chicken have a great chance to buy the light grain. So that's what the result is. And we have support for the chicken is 0.004, right? So it's greater than the 0.003 what we have given. And then the next parameter is ordered statistics. So in the order statistics what we have is we have the uh, items add, this is LSH and RSH, you can say. Items add is chicken, the confidence is 0.29 we have, and it's greater than what we have given minimum confidence. And we have a lift as 4.84. So like that we'll have the data set here. So okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to separate uh, the items and the support and what we have confidence and lift. So we'll separate that. So to do that I will just create the items variable, so it contains all the items. Okay, uh, now what you can do is a relational record. Is an you can say it's an object. So inside the object we have some parameters, right? So you can access the parameters by dot, right? If I put dot items, it will give you the frozen set, the item sets, right? So I will do a list comprehension. So we'll create a list of items. So for that you can run a loop like this inside the list comprehension. So for you can say for object, you can say, right? A relational object, you can say. For object in the rules, for object in the rules, inside the object we'll get the items, obj dot items. Okay, that's it. It will give you the items. Now if I run this, we'll get a list of item sets. So this is a frozen object. That's it. What we can do is, instead of the frozen object, we create a list or tuple. Create a tuple. Okay. Oh, sorry, not results. Some items. So now we have the tuples of the item sets. So we have chicken, light cream, escalope, mushroom cream, like that. So we have eight results. Even we have given a support as very less value. We have only eight results. Okay. So now we want to uh, extract the supports supports equal to, again, we have the list comprehension for obj in rules. And then here in the support, where is the support is, the support is inside the parameter support. So you can simply say obj dot support. Okay. So we got the supports for every items. And then what we need is, we need to extract the confidences equal to same the comprehension for obj in rules. So where the confidence is, so confidence is here, confidence parameter, we have confidence, but it is inside a list of ordered statistics object. So we have a list, that list is inside the order statistics. So inside the order statistic we have a object of order statistics. In order statistic we have the confidence. So it's chain rule, like. So what we do is, we put obj dot, where is the list, this list inside the order statistics. So first we do that. Now this order statistics is the list. So inside the list we can put index. So the order statistics is zeroth index, right? So we give 0. So now the 0 is an object. So order statistics of 0 is an object. So inside this object we have the parameter confidence. That's it. So now you can see we have the confidences of the item sets. Okay. So now, and then what we want is, we want the lifts, right? Lifts equal to same for obj in rules. Now where the lift is, so lift is inside the same the order statistics. So just you have to change instead of confidence you have to put the lift. Instead of this confidence you want to put lift. Now it will have the lifts of the item sets. So we have got the data sets, item supports, confidence and lifts. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a data frame. Okay. So before creating the data frame I want to separate the transaction. So item wise I want to separate the support, confidence and lifts. So first I will create a list here. So the list is a zip of all the variables. So that means for every item sets we have a support, confidence, lifts, right? So we'll create a separate uh, list for that. So we give the items, and we give the supports, and confidences, and lifts. So now we have the, sorry, so now we have the list. In the list, what we have is we have the values like, first is the items, chicken, light cream, and the support, the confidence, and we'll have the lift. So we have the list here. So you can convert this list to data frame like this. So data frame of li. So the columns you can give, columns equal to, the first column is, you can see, okay, I think okay, so that's items, the first column, and then second column is support, and confidence, and lift. That's it, we have the data frame here. Okay, so you want to sort the data frame by the lift by decreasing order. So now we have the results. So the rules, like people who bought uh, fromage blank, so don't know what it is, may have the great chance to bought the honey. People who have bought the chicken may have the great chance to buy the light cream. So like that we have the transactional uh, recommendations. Okay, so this is how the a priori works. So and again we have another algorithm, right? Eclet. So Eclet, simply you can say Eclet doesn't have these two features, confidence and lifts. Okay, so you can stop it from the supports. For Eclet we don't have any separate functions like a priori, so you can use the same function a priori. So the main difference is you don't have the confidence and lifts, that's it. Okay, so then why we have separate algorithms like a priori and Eclet? So the main reason is a priori works with the large data sets, and Eclets works with the small data sets. When you have small data sets you can do the Eclet, or if you have a large data set you can use the uh, a priori. Okay, so I will show you another data set that's I think very large. I think even is 7,000 this one market basket. So I will show you the groceries data set. That's nearly 10,000, I think. Yeah, nearly 10,000 it is. 9,835. So we do the same for this data sets as well. So you want to read the data sets, right? So you can simply give the name groceries. I think this won't work actually, because previously I have faced an error when reading the file. Error tokenizing data. Okay, so for this what I did is I just imported a library CSV. This will handle all this. So you just need to create a reader, that's it. So with open you want to give the same path here as the file. So the alias is file. So now what you need to do is you need to create a reader using the CSV uh, library here. So inside this library we have a function called reader. So it will give you the reader object. So you can say simply csv dot reader of the file. Okay, so now you can simply create the data frame. Now actually this reader is a list, you can say it's a generator object. So now we can simply create data frame, give the reader and give header equal to none. Damodaram raised hand. Any doubts? Any doubts you have? I think no audio. Can you hear me? Yeah. Wait, I will set audio settings. Now can you hear me? Okay. So so give the header equal to none and give the reader to the data frame pd dot data frame. And now comment this line. Okay, let's try this. But you have to change the rows and column numbers actually. Uh, we'll run this 4 lines first. Uh, got an unexpected keyword header. Okay. Uh, okay, I think header is for read CSV, I think. Yeah. Now we have the data set. It's nearly 10,000. How many columns we have? Uh, we have 31 columns and 9,835. We want to give here, give the 9,835, and the columns is 31 columns we have. Okay, now let's run this program. So we try to change the minimum support as well. Yeah, this is the data frame. We have 13 results. 13 results. Okay, so let's try to change the minimum support. You can see 0.7, 0.007. When I increase the support, you can see the results is affected. So only we have 4 results. Okay, I think this is better to use 0.003. Okay, so this what about the a priori. So we'll end up here. Any doubts you can ask. Any doubts you have? Oh, okay, someone has to explain again. So what a priori algorithm is? So the a priori algorithms defines the association rule on the item sets. So we have the transactional wise data set. So in the transactional wise data set, we are going to predict the great chances of if someone bought a product, bought an item. So what is the greatest chance of buying another product? So that's what the a priori algorithms gives you. So let's say you are watching a YouTube video, then it will recommend you a video. So based on some rules, what you have watched previously, so it will have the transactions, right? So you have the history, right? So based on the history, it will give you some recommended videos. So like that, we have the transactional wise data set. So for this, you can see the result here. So people who bought hamburger meat may have the great chance to buy the instant food product. So, okay, so this what the a priori will give you. In a priori, we have some parameters like support and confidence. Support is support of the item set. So it's like a number of times which A appears in the transaction, and number of transactions divided by the number of transaction. So I will show you in the slides. And the confidence is uh, support of A union B divided by support of A, I think. It's not responding. Sometimes my system hangs. So the steps you can see here, the steps of the a priori, like set the minimum support and confidence we'll give, and take all the subsets in transaction having higher support than the minimum support. We calculate the support first, and then we'll filter the subsets that has the higher support than the minimum support, and we'll calculate the confidence. So you can see confidence, for confidence is like confidence of buying a product. People who bought A product, what is the confidence of buying B product? So that's the confidence here. So support of A union B divided by support of A uh, is the equation for the confidence. And third step, we take all the rules of subsets and having higher confidence is the minimum confidence, and sort the rules by decreasing difference. This simply four steps. That's it. Okay. For a priori, we use third part library. So you can use a priori, not a priori. So this library, a priori. Okay. Inside the a priori, we have the function a priori. So you want to give the transactions and the minimum support, minimum confidence, and minimum lift, and you can give the minimum and maximum length. So this is the length of the result actually. So if you give the minimum length 2, so it will give you only two items, right? Okay. So I hope you got any doubts, any other doubts you have. Okay, we'll end this session. So we are bigdatahandson.com, our website bigdatahandson.com. You can visit our website. So if you have any doubts, you can message it in this number 979988424, or you can send email through support@bigdatahandson.com. Our previous videos you can find it in our YouTube channel bigdatahandson.com. So here you can see all the videos we have uploaded. So the data set, today's data set, you can find it in the Kaggle website. So just go and type the, you can type the groceries. You will find the groceries data set. Okay. uh, yeah, weekly sales transaction, I think. So this, you can try this one also. Okay, so we end up this session here. We'll see tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll continue with some dimensionality reduction algorithms. Okay, so we'll see tomorrow. Bye.